Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Natalia Moczulska and this is the news. A monument to the Red Army has been dismantled in Głubczyce. It seems to the Russians that Central Europe is still their colony, said the Institute of National Remembrance chairman, Dr. Karol Nawrocki, during the demolition of the so-called Red Army Gratitude Monument. Let's take a look at what decommunization looks like in other cities, such as the capital of Poland. The Głubczyce monument was erected in 1945. It commemorated 676 soldiers of the Red Army of the First Ukrainian Front who fell in the fighting for the city in March 1945. A comprehensive exhumation was carried out in 1952, and after its completion, no grave of Red Army soldiers remained in Głubczyce. The fact that these facilities have not been removed so far was due to such very mundane life problems of local governments related to procedural issues, primarily funding. This has always been seen as a burden on the budget. Since last year, we have become actively involved in the physical removal of these facilities, offering cooperation to local governments on whose territory such facilities are still located. We offer very real, tangible financial assistance. We remove these objects by covering the costs of such demolition work. Since 2016, the law on the prohibition of the propagation of communism or another totalitarian system by names of organizational units, auxiliary units of the municipality, buildings, objects, and public facilities and monuments. In the past 12 months, 28 such objects have been demolished. According to the Institute of National Remembrance findings, some 30 or so still remain. The problem is still a big one. I, for one, think that the Russian aggression has shown that the Russians, who are directly the ideological heirs of the Soviets, are really a threat to all of us, and that having us refer to communism is in a sense an indirect support of Russian aggression. However, the removal of post-communist scraps, symbols, patrons, and names from public space in Poland has opponents. In 2018, the Mazovian governor passed orders to rename a total of 50 streets in the capital in connection with the decommunization law. However, an administrative court in early 2019 revoked these orders. Today, Warsaw City Hall refused to comment to our editorial board on the matter. Among other things, there was a discussion about Aleja Armii Ludowej, an avenue in Warsaw named the People's Army, and at that time both President Trzaskowski and the chairman of the Civic Coalition Club, Mr. Szostakowski, were very clear in favor of leaving this name. They simply took over the post-communist electorate of the Democratic Left Alliance. They refer to these traditions of the People's Republic of Poland, and therefore these communist names are still being cultivated as consciously as possible by the Civic platform. In March of 2022, an initiative emerged in Russia to demolish the Polish part of the monument at the Katyn Cemetery and Museum complex, supported by members of the Russian Duma, among others. The idea came in response to Polish involvement in supporting Ukraine in the fight against Russian occupation, and at the same time because of the demolition of Soviet monuments. In the end, the Katyn monument was not destroyed. Unfortunately, they persist to this day in the public space of Poland, and it is known that they were installed here together with the Soviet power, that is, since 1944, and they were supposed to show the untruth that Poland was liberated by the Soviets. We know that it was completely the opposite. In the museum in Kozłówka, in Kozłowski Park, there are monuments of Bierut, Stalin, and labor forefathers, so there is no need for symbols of hostile occupation to stand in other places in Poland. Russian courts are conducting 4 proceedings to hold the Institute of National Remembrance accountable for the removal of 4 Soviet monuments on Polish territory. Institute of National Remembrance President Karol Nawrocki points out that Russia still has not gotten rid of its imperialist pretensions against the former socialist bloc countries and cannot come to terms with the fact that they are already independent, sovereign states. Windsor buzzed with excitement today ahead of tomorrow's coronation of King Charles III, with crowds filling souvenir shops looking for coronation memorabilia. Charles, 74, and his wife Camilla will be crowned at London's Westminster Abbey tomorrow on May 6th in a glittering but solemn religious ceremony with traditions dating back some 1,000 years, followed by a procession resplendent with pomp and pageantry. The following day, attention turns to Windsor Castle, west of London, where 20,000 members of the public and special guests attend a concert, which will also be broadcast on television and radio.
I think it's amazing. I think that He's the right man for the job, let's put it that way. And I've followed his career since he was, this age, if you like, yeah. I think he's an amazing, amazing guy, and I'm proud to be a Brit, yeah. But that's pretty much it, I guess. Long live the King. I made that mistake, classic mistake.
Several tourists and visitors also filled the town and posed for photos at Windsor Castle.
It makes me think of my heritage and my family and what this means to them. Yeah.
Anyway, it's just an awesome time to witness history. I mean, we haven't done this in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
So may not get to do that again, so we thought we'd give it a whirl. We missed the Queen, though.
And we almost got run over by Harry.
Oh, yeah. Harry and William almost ran us over at Kensington today.
Yes,
it was
literally.
a near-death experience.
They were coming out as we were in the middle of the street. So we had a touch with royalty.
We get into trouble quite a bit, but you probably know that.
They weren't in the same car, by the way. These two. William and Harry were not in the same car.
Meanwhile, 71-year-old souvenir shop owner Ait Singh Sandhu said the coronation was great for his business, which has seen a steady stream of customers since the Queen's funeral in September.
It's a big time for us. We're looking forward towards it. You know, every trader in the town wish this is happening. You know, it's really, really good. Good for the business, good for the town, good for local community, and he's our king. He's going to be our super king.
I think it's great. I was born in Rhodesia, so we were one of the colonies. So I was raised with knowing about the royal family and singing God Save the Queen and standing up and doing all the things. And it's dead exciting to be here, it really is. Yes. Nobody does it like the English. Yeah.
So we're hopefully we're making some coronation chicken and some nice picnic food, and we're going to go for a picnic possibly just near where we live. But we've been trying to find some local events that are going on as well, and hopefully, get involved. And then we've got some other family coming from London as well, so we'll all be together. So I think that's part of it as well, is bringing everyone together and families and friends and just celebrating. So it should be good.
It's wonderful. So exciting. Very exciting. And I live in a small town in New Zealand, and everybody there is very excited too. So I'm looking for some things that I can take home.
Crowds cheered and shed tears of joy as Britain's King Charles III and his son William greeted well-wishers outside Buckingham Palace in central London earlier today, a day before Charles' formal coronation ceremony. Charles, accompanied by Prince and Princess of Wales William and Kate, left the palace gates in his royal car before stopping halfway down the mall, where fans are camped out ahead of tomorrow's ceremony. King Charles III was met with cheers of hip hip hooray and God Save the King along the Grand Avenue leading to the palace, which will be a central part of a procession route on Saturday. Meanwhile, William and Kate greeted, posed for photos, and chatted with the enthusiastic crowd. Earlier today, an urban stunt climber known as the French SpiderMan conquered another landmark by climbing a 166-meter or 381-foot Barcelona skyscraper in a bid to raise awareness about climate change and drought. 60-year-old Alain Robert crawled up the exterior of the glass and steel-covered Meliá Barcelona Sky Hotel, the Spanish city's fourth tallest building, with just a bag of powdered chalk and climbing shoes to aid his climb. Spain is facing a persistent drought, and parts of southern Europe are in the grips of unseasonably warm temperatures that scientists say have been exacerbated by global warming.
Today, the main concern is to raise a warning on drought, on global warming, because actually those are the consequences. And now the desertification of Spain is really bad, Structure I'm gonna climb is quite aggressive, so all mixed up, the fact that it is aggressive and it's hot, so even myself, I'm going to be a bit, I'm gonna have the effect on global warming.
Alain Robert wrapped his fingers with climbing tape to prevent burns from the sizzling surface, heated by strong sunshine, even though the maximum temperature in Barcelona today was a relatively balmy 23 Celsius or 73.4 Fahrenheit. The climb was not authorized, and police detained him at the top. It was good, not too much difficulty, a little hot at the end. Above all, I would like to pass a message on climate change and the problem of soil dehydration in Spain to be resolved quickly for the government. Dozens of onlookers gathered outside, craning their necks to catch a glimpse of Robert, sporting a bright red suit and a cap, as he made his way upward in about half an hour. Robert began climbing in 1975 on the cliffs near his hometown of Valence. 2 years later, he took up the high-risk, free solo feats, climbing alone and unaided by ropes or harnesses. Since then, he has climbed more than 150 structures, including the world's tallest building, Dubai's Burj Khalifa, Paris's Eiffel Tower, and San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Please stay tuned for Poland Daily Weather, Poland Daily Business, and some of our other programs. But for me, it's have a wonderful weekend.